streets, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We are live. It is Tuesday, the second to last primer time on Halloween 2017. My name is Michael, and I'm dressed up as a hater tonight.
And it is Chris over here in Florida on Halloween night indeed. Some stuff to talk about. I think one of the first things is that looks that perhaps the gun control enthusiasts are gonna, or even though this is or not the gun control.
Well, wait up. Don't just jump into this with like a sledgehammer, man. This is the second to last show. You and I are friends, so we're gonna have like a conversation. But let's jazz about this for a second. First off, I want to give a shout out to the chat, and I want to give a special shout out to Jules, who made tonight's show possible. She makes all the radio on UCY.TV possible. What are you dressed up as for Halloween tonight? I'm a hater.
I am dressed up right now as I'm dressed up as Ben Bernanke. Yeah, that's pretty terrifying. So that's probably the big.
That is scary. That is scary. I ain't got no love for the greenback dollar. I spend as fast as I can. Shout out to the Kingston Trio.
What are you dressed up as tonight, or what are you?
I'm a hater,
Halloween?
dude. I'm a hater. I'm a hater, a possible anti-Semite. I speak out and probably encourage violence and shit like that. So,
oy vey.
Oy vey. Oy vey.
That's actually been kind of like it's like a running joke too, like between me and one guy.
I'd actually like to announce my permanent ban from Reddit underneath my old username. So I actually got like the little red judge hammer that signifies I have been shut down. And I was permanently banned from Reddit.
Oh shit.
And I was inciting violence and hate speech. Something like that.
Was it?
So I was inciting violence. What was my comment?
Did you have the Otto von Bolschwing? Was that the name of your account there as well?
No, I don't believe I can give out the name I was banned under, because somebody will probably figure it out and then like fuck with my life in some like ugly way. But I'll give you the quote that got me banned at incited violence and hate speech. It was probably about 6-7 weeks ago. There was a story in the news about some Palestinian kids dropping rocks from an overpass on like Jewish cars, and my comment was, "Woot, drop more rocks on Jews." That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. And look, 6 million. That's it. 6 million.
You can't do that, bro. You know that's totally. You're totally forgetting about the 60 million. It's 60 now. Haven't you heard? It's been revised.
I saw a clip one time of Georgia's most illustrious politician, Mr. Newton Leroy Gingrich, say that it was 7 million. So like I'm trying to like extrapolate how like the Red Cross is 347 million, blossomed into like 7 million, right? Like we got like fractional reserve dead Jews going on or something like it's like one in the ground equals 1,000 in the bank.
I'm not even going to respond to that.
It's probably best for your future opportunities.
I mean that's going a little bit dark from my sense of humor, but we're gonna. I guess we'll
like the Red Cross. Look. Let's look at it logically. Let's look at it logically. We've got the Red Cross that says like 347,000 were in peril or died. Now this is a wartime situation, blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff. But the Red Cross number is significantly lower than the very first number that was like plastered on the gates of Auschwitz, which was like 4.5 million, which they've like reduced now to like 1.5 million. And it's like, so where did them other three go? How come, like, if you got to take 3 off of here, how come it don't come 3 off of the total, right? Like I'm a value shopper, dude. I use coupons and whatnot.
it's definitely
it's like
it's
and then I got another question. All right, so like we're in the midst of like this Trump and Manafort and Russian collusion and stuff. So how come like the Russians that are like absolute horrible Facebook pirating liars and blah blah blah, Vladimir Putin eats babies and kicks gays in the balls, why do we like hate them now but totally believe the shit they said 70 years ago? I mean, considering like the chimney.
Well, I could answer that because they weren't the Russians that we were listening to. We weren't listening to the Russians. We were listening to Khazars pretending to be Russians in the Soviet government.
Oh, you're talking about the reason why like skin cancer is like totally predominant in Israel. Like this. Here's this desert nation that was promised to these people for like 5,000 years and shit. What, they like bred out the gene that like allows them like to absorb the sun? All them other people there that got the gene to like absorb the sun and not get skin cancer, you're wrong. You people get the fuck out of there. That ain't your land. Big old real estate agent in the sky said it was theirs 5,000 years ago. I read it in a book.
And those aren't the same. Those even the same people that were there 2,000 years ago. Man.
So, what are we on? We're closing up on like the 100th anniversary or something of like the Balfour Declarations, like finalization or something like that, right? We're somewhere close to that.
Well,
God save the Queen. God save the Queen, baby.
Two big anniversaries, actually. I think the Balfour Declarations passed recently, and we also a week from today is the 100th anniversary of the Bolshevik Revolution, of officially the when the Reds took over extract.
Ostensibly firearms related show, and you brought up just a topic that just might have piqued my interest or something. The 100th anniversary of the Bolshevik Revolution. How are you like getting your shit together for the November 4th threats of Antifa and whatnot?
I didn't even know about this till a few days ago, about the supposed purple revolution or whatever the fuck they're calling it. But
you live, Dave. This purple revolution is stuff, dude.
I do feel
they've done the color revolutions for decades. The orange revolution in the Ukraine, Manafort, Podesta, blah blah blah. With Trump, oh my God, Trump.
Well, here's what I fear: is that you got Trump is right now he's like really the spotlight's been put on him because of this whole. Even though Manafort's arrest doesn't really have anything to do with any connections to Russia necessarily. That's been more about this whole thing with the business of Ukraine. And that now they could. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but this could lead to potentially. I think with November 4th, if it actually becomes something like that, maybe the elite is planning to remove Trump. I mean, I really think it's very unlikely, but I'm saying that's the only potential circumstance. I see that Soros and his buddies and his Rockefeller Rothschild, they decide that Trump is no longer the fit for them in the White House. He's eliminated one way or another, whether by impeachment or
whatever. Let me ask you a hypothetical question. After the Resolution of Records Act, what year do they release the full details of Trump getting whacked? We got to wait 75 years? 90 years, 125 years. I mean, I
don't think they're gonna whack Trump though. I don't. I think that if it happens, it's too obvious. So it'll either come through politics, or they're gonna or their other ears are gonna be poisoned or something like that. But I don't think it's.
Let me ask you. We got all kinds of like shenanigans going on in the world, and it's like moral turpitude, like 1929, Berlin Weimar style shit going on with like the total perversion and stuff. I mean, some of these caricatures of Weinstein, and they're actual photographs of this dude. I mean, they are Der Stürmer stuff from 36. I mean, it's straight up. I mean, and this is how this guy lives. So let me ask you a question. Do you think that we're in a situation where they know it's coming down and they're pulling out all the stops?
Potentially, I think that's why they put Trump there in the first place. Is that they put this illusion that something different and finally arrived after 50-something years.
Why haven't you bought your ass a 12-gauge shotgun? Straight up honest. If you know this is coming down, you need a 12 gauge shotgun for your personal defense, for your family's defense, the defense of your domicile. And I mean, I'm telling you, this is American, dude. You can buy a gun. You are an American male of appropriate age, and you have income. You can go and get yourself probably the best defense weapon in the United States for $200. And I'm telling you, we both know it. We both know it that the time is coming. So, what's the deal with a shotgun?
I explained this to you, Michael. Outside of the, I mean, I don't really want to explain it on the air. There's a true reason why I can't, get a firearm at the moment.
We're not talking about your ankle bracelet or nothing like that tonight, dude. It's all fine, dude. Dog, they don't even know your name.
Well, I mean, to listen and stuff like that, I'm not.
All right.
They know that.
You're right. But it's fair to say that you recognize the need for the 12 gauge Mossberg or Maverick 88 by Mossberg Security Edition with the 8-round magazine and the 20-inch barrel. That's, that pretty much parts out of the store at $229 out the door.
Well, that might be in Texas, but we do have a little bit more expensive. I think especially on guns, there's more demand here in Florida. I don't know if the price is there.
Down to the nearest big box store because they sell that thing at Walmart. They sell it at Academy. They sell it at Dick's Sporting Goods. That's it right there. That's the best entry level defense for the homeowner who's scared of a gun. So let me ask you your opinion. Before we get back onto the talking about what we know exactly what the real problem is. Let me ask you, so do you feel, because you live in a far different urban area than I do. We live in different locales, even though that I've moved recently. I moved from like a town of like 1,500 people to like the suburbs of Houston, dude. I mean, I just went to, a town that's got a bigger Walmart and shit. So, whatever. But straight up honest, let me ask you, in your area where you've lived, which is like, kind of a tourist area that's kind of like being, I don't know, overrun with like, not necessarily the most desirable culture, crime wise and whatnot. Do you prefer a shotgun or do you prefer a handgun as like the unarmed, homeowner, resident, blah, blah, blah? What would you prefer personally? Let me quiz you on some shit.
Shotgun.
You like a shotgun?
Shotgun's a bunch. You can get a shotgun that has a decent range, and ultimately, I mean, handgun's all right for stuff up close, but you get decent range on it. Plus, you can take somebody down in one shot.
Your choice. I agree with that. It's a great big old man stopper. It's a 76 caliber rifle that can like split into like all kinds of different particles. I'm on the ball with you on that with the 12 gauge. Now, let me ask you, do you like the shotgun because you don't perceive a need for a handgun, as in you don't perceive a need for a handgun when you're out and about and doing your thing?
Not really, because for one, you talk about the troubled neighborhoods that I don't really. We have like a line. It's called 49th Street. That's like everybody in the town. You don't east of that. Really, you don't have to. I stay west of it pretty much most of my time here.
All right, from your front door to the nearest troubled neighborhood, how far are you?
Mile, probably. Less mile.
How many miles?
Probably about 9/10 of a mile, 8/10 of a mile.
9/10 of a mile, man. You need a shotgun and a handgun.
I mean, yeah, it's not that far away, to be honest, but I don't really go there, and they don't come over here either.
Speed limit on that road, because we can like extrapolate by math how long it takes to riot to hit your house, as long as we know the speed limit on the main highway that connects you.
Well, how the highway that connects us to the bad neighborhood?
How many lanes between you and the big? Because I mean, like, time is of the essence.
There's no major. Well, like I said, to go straight across 9/10 of a mile, there's a road straight across, but you're going through like neighborhoods. It's a one lane, just like a normal residential road.
Well, I'm telling you, if you're not like already set up with claymores that are apparently, claymore mines are apparently available at Walmart. Last I saw, I saw the good senators Chuck Schumer, Dianne Feinstein, and Bernie Sanders give a little spiel about gun control. How do you feel about that? I mean,
what was the three names? Sanders, Feinstein, and Schumer.
Our finest Irish citizens up there trying to help the children.
Here's the thing: is that it's disappointing, especially when I hear people because here in this town we have some people that think outside the box, and unfortunately they're thinking outside. They're on the wrong side of the box, if you know what I'm saying. Is that they support people like Sanders, unfortunately, and they don't realize the essential need for guns that he opposes. Which is funny because Sanders, until he got popular, was actually kind of against gun control in Vermont. You look at his record; he was actually rated like an F or something. He had a pretty bad grade from the Democrats on they want gun control. He actually had a bad grade before, but then when he became popular and was going for president and everything, he started to take on this very strict gun control stance. All the other ones did. They don't really surprise me. Of course, Schumer, Feinstein, she's the biggest, loudmouth about gun control over there in California.
Well, California is probably be considered one of the biggest hypocrites about gun control because, as a senator and living in this, in the Bay Area of California, she's one of the very few privileged select Californians who have a concealed carry license. I don't think she currently has it, but she had it up until 2004 or something like that. She has a concealed carry license in California where nobody gets a concealed carry license. Yet she wants to disarm you. How does that work out? Goya, Mr. and Mrs. Goya of America, turn them all in now? What the hell?
Yeah, that's it's guns for me, but not for Z. That's the I guess the approach from them. Of course, the politicians what they're done.
You're straight on the money with that, or straight. You're dot on the shekel, so to speak. They're not actually against guns. They actually like guns. They don't bitch about the amount of firearms that are in Israel. As a matter of fact, they vote to send more firearms to Israel. But what they are against is you having firearms.
M16s in college.
Well, yeah, they don't care if they actually promote the settlers and stuff going to Palestinian neighborhoods with M16s and chasing them away over to Israel. But they say that us Americans, we shouldn't have guns. We shouldn't have handguns. We shouldn't have concealed carry permits and stuff like that.
What's the number of settlements that Netanyahu said that it's all good to go? We can steal these people's lands because whatever, they're poor and they're brown and there's probably oil.
100 more, I believe. 300 more.
Well, I
heard about 300 more in the next 2 years.
Within the last 2 weeks, I heard 1,700 or something. So it's since let's just say since the beginning of September, it's been 2,500 houses or home sites that they're going to usurp from these people. Look, the United States had an apartheid ban. This is straight up apartheid. They're stealing land from people. They're keeping people segregated by who they are, by their nationality, by their religion. This is apartheid.
You can't say it on the air, man. That's anti-Semitic. You're pushing your anti-Semitic. I hear about this. Talk about the Rothschild thing. You get automatically anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. That's
I'm gonna get a note from the Leprechaun Guild, from the County Cork, from the Irish Defence League. They're probably going to say, "Could you please stop talking about our good brethren?"
I wish there was something like that for the Irish Defence League, and then I could claim my 18% Irish heritage to get all kinds of exemptions and shit.
All right. So how do you know 18%? That's a funny number to say unless you're like BSing with me. Is this did you do the 23andMe? Did you do the genome marker thing?
No, I think I figured it's just going back, I think what I heard of up to my great
You did this mathematically. You did not go out and spend money and put your saliva or All right, good job. Good job. Beyond spending no money or whatever, don't let your Irish side show. I don't like submitting my stuff to the database. That's Sergey Brin. That's Sergey Brin invention, right? Isn't his wife the head of the Sergey Brin, the owner of or the one of the heads behind Google? Isn't his wife the main drive behind 23andMe genome database shit? Whatever, Goy. Don't pay attention to this. Here, have some football. Do you like Weinstein movies? Some of them have won Oscars. They're great.
It's funny though. It's finally the things that we've been saying about Hollywood for all these years are finally starting to come out to be true. It's like another conspiracy theory that finally has been proven to be true. That Hollywood has these creepy men that ultimately rape women or rape. Even what we see with Corey Feldman and molesting children and stuff.
Some that totally just it almost befuddles me. I'm all right, straight up. I've been working a lot, and I mean actual physical work. It's good for you, dude. Makes you tall and strong and whatnot. Puts hair on your chest. So I've been tired, and I haven't really had a chance to glance through any headlines. I caught something that there was some sort of terrorist event in New York. Fuck off, man. Whatever. Hey, unless they put off a nuke, I ain't paying any attention to these little terrorist shit because it's all the FBI and fucking the Mossad and whatever doing their shit now. And straight up honest, I think Las Vegas was the Hebrews because look, I look at the United States as an extension of Israel, but I look at Saudi Arabia as an extension of Israel. That's their own arm. That's how we use all them little tiny countries that that nobody here in the United States can find on a map or pronounce their names. But I think Israel uses Saudi Arabia like that. And I don't know. I can get into some weird stuff about the House of Saud and whatever, but maybe that's not appropriate. But yeah, I think Las Vegas was that's a straight Mossad setup. Honestly, Key Bono, who benefits? Chertoff is Chertoff group wants to put all them machines into the Metro Goldwyn Mayer, the Chertoff group. Let's find some Celtic common denominators here in this big old Irish stew of mess. All right, so we got Michael Chertoff, which is a Russian with the name translates the son of the devil, who owns the nudie scanners and shit, working with Steve Wynn and Metro Goldwyn Mayer, dude. Goldwyn and Mayer, dude, those both come out of the county Cork, on the north side, dude. Well, where the Guinness Brewery is.
Well, it's funny. We're talking about that on Sunday.
Goldberg Shillelagh factory up there.
We were talking about that on the show Sunday, so I didn't really get to say too many points about it. But I was going to say, I kept trying to remember that name about the guy who used to be in the Department of Homeland Security, Chernov, which was. By the way, if you want to look at connections to Russia, real connections to Russia, the Russian mafia. Look at the Bush administration.
By Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone, the largest teacher of Hebrew to the Russian people. If you are a Russian language speaker and wish to speak Hebrew, please choose Rosetta Stone. Remember, Russian is the largest secondary language in Israel. Praise be to Abrahamic gods.
Well, the Russians, they were controlled by Israel for how long? 74 years, and then from 19 more than that.
All right, so I'm a little bit older than you.
So pretty much almost the entire 20th century were controlled by Zionists, and that's an important anniversary. First anniversary is coming up on November 7th, and yeah, you look at every freaking name in the Bolshevik Revolution, 85% of them, and it's all
Are you talking about Zinoviev?
Talk about
or
what?
are you talking about Yaganovich?
I was talking about all of them. All of them in general, the Bolsheviks. But yeah, Yaganovich was another one.
Got confused there for a minute because there's so many to choose from. There were so many Irishmen involved in the Bolshevik Revolution. It was almost like an Irish coup at some point. You see it, dude. There were so many O'Learys and O'Briens and Flanagans and Dailies in that. Along with the Trotskys, which was, we all know about
we all know about Leon in his command of the Red Army and how he killed 4 million Russians in the Civil War. Leon Donald, he was a bad dude.
Oh, are you talking about like the what was that order called? Are you talking about the guy who killed him in World War II or in World War I?
I'm talking about the Bolshevik Revolution, the man that commanded the Red Army during the Russian Civil War. I was making a joke about I said Leon O'Donnell, the Leon O'Donnell who was a Ukrainian Irish, we could say.
The Irish have spread their seed across this nation, across the entire planet. It's almost like they're chosen or something.
What? Who else would be? Who else would be another person in the Bolshevik Revolution. The infamous. He was only a quarter Irish, but Vladimir O'Leary. Yeah, the guy that actually ran the whole thing.
Vladimir O'Leary. I was almost thinking of Ileana O'Brien.
Oh, what O'Brien?
Ileana O'Brien. I don't know. It's a joke, dude. You can't say the J word. You say the J word. All right. I actually just got a view at the chat, and I have to make a crack a joke and interrupt you right now because the Irish will own it all, and actually that's a lie because if it wasn't for beer, the Irish and the Mexicans would be the two superpowers. But you know what? There's a whole lot of cold beer around. I'm actually going to crack another one. Shout out to the boys in Golden, Colorado. Coors Light, defining tonight's Hate Fest 2017. Chris, your brew.
The Irish, the Irish, and that'd be a pretty decent world, I think. And then those people, they're all about macho-ness and stuff. But I feel like they're going to each other would be too girly for each other. I think the presidents just might duel out. That was the case.
I've had the opportunity to travel to Europe and tradesmen. Tradesmen tend to be like Irishmen if they speak English. If they don't speak English, they're like Polish or Romanian or something like that. In the UK, but if they speak English and they're good at it, they tend to be Irish. All right, down here, if they tend to speak English and be good at it, they're probably Mexican. That's not a lie. All right, we could talk like cold facts here. Wouldn't you dare say like today's Mexican immigrant who is almost successful has achieved what we've been sold as the American dream?
Well, I say that the majority of the immigrants, or are you just saying that some of the immigrants have achieved the American dream?
The ones that end up opening a business and working hard and taking care of their kids, they've achieved the American dream, and they're actually kind of like driving forces in their communities.
Depends where you're at.
All right, so we're gonna or do we exclude your area?
Well, there's some places where they're really poor. I don't see too many Mexican business owners here, despite the fact there's quite a few living here. So I don't know if I could really see that.
Because you don't have tile done or have to buy tires, and you're not necessarily a fan of taco breakfasts.
Well, I'm talking about Mexican. There's quite a few decent amount of Mexicans here, but the ones that are here don't seem to really not too many business owners though that I see that are Mexican. I think they just.
I got to cut you off, and this is something that I've said on our show before, and I've said on like guest star. You said Mexicans, like these are real Mexicans, like Mexican Mexicans, not like Guatemalan Mexicans or like Honduran Mexicans.
I don't know if you were saying the Cubans or something. Yeah, I heard about tires, and I was like, oh, well, you know, I thought you were saying they floating on tires to get here or something like that. Well, that would be Cuban.
No,
which there's not.
My people come in on a plane, dude. My people come in on a plane. We did not float on no tires or nothing like that.
Not anymore, at least. West Wall Street.
Because you're my buddy and I talk to you. I'm gonna give you a research topic here. Maybe we can, I don't know, like anybody who's listening may be able to like get on it. But Operation Pedro Pan.
What?
Operation Pedro. All right, let me say with the Operation Pedro Pan.
Pedro Pan.
Operation Peter Pan. Interesting, like factoid in the American history, and now we get into like this whole kind of like left-right dichotomy. You know, oh my God, the evil communists are coming, and we got to build up nukes and all this kind of stuff, and the church is in on it and everything, and what the hell? It's all being financed by the same banks on both sides. Don't even dare ask which Irishman is behind it.
Well, you told me about very interesting thing that happened. I haven't seen. I think I've seen a few things about it when the Soviet police and the American police they got together, and the Soviets and Americans, being at the height of Cold War, worked together on some stuff. You know, the International Space Station. I think when they first started building, which was like in the early '80s, was a Soviet-American joint project, and I think they did a lot of space joint projects between the Soviets and the Americans when the Cold War was going on. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, like I said,
I think you and I talked about this. I think it was like about the time of the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles, and this is this is before your time, but like the United States boycotted the 1980 Olympics in Moscow, right? Because like the Soviets had invaded Afghanistan at the time, and Jimmy Carter was the president, and the world was against like invasions. Said, Jesus Christ, people do not look at Iraq or anything like that. So, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, and anyways, we didn't do it. So, '84 was after some kind of like detente. The Soviets had pulled out of Afghanistan, and the Soviet Union was basically on its way into crumble, and I remember during those Olympic events, there was I lived in Los Angeles at the time, and the Olympics were being held in Los Angeles. There was a great big push by like the LA Times and a bunch of the local TV stations about American cops going to Russia and Russian cops coming to America to like exchange information and tactics and how they looked, and all that kind of like, cross-border cultural enrichment shit that cops do, right? Whatever kind of tactics you got to change, whatever kind of training, that kind of stuff. And it stuck with me as an adult, from a kid as to an adult. It was like, they're all cops. It doesn't matter, communist or capitalist, American or Russian or whatever. They're just cops. They're all cops. And, like they all want to do the best for you or something. I thought that was kind of interesting that we have this like total complete abhorrence of the Soviets, except for their cops, because their cops are good guys. Like the guys who sell Coca-Cola over there, they were always cool, right?
Well, I was getting at though, yeah, is that ultimately on both sides, both sides were, both sides had ties to the people with the actual power in this world, the bankers, I guess you could say, whatever you want to call them, the Zionists, Zionism, not just as they want the state of Israel, but the Zionists as in the spreading political Zionism around the world. These people controlled sides of the Cold War, and you could see like around that time as well, one of the people that picked to be on either side of
they tried to control both sides of World War II. And I mean, like, I think we'd have to look at World War II as like the seminal event for, like, you know, the modern world.
Well, World War II, I mean, yeah, World War II, I've said multiple times that there was no real heroes, no real heroes for leaders in that war, and it was a very low point in humanity. Ultimately, you look at Churchill, you look at Roosevelt, you look at Stalin, you look at Hitler, all of them, you know, Mussolini, they all came up with it wasn't spontaneous. It didn't come by revolution. It was more the people were selected by a higher committee, if you will, to be in power at that time. And how many people perished in the war? 100 million?
We look at Churchill, right? And Churchill and his pre-war debt was something that was unreal. I mean, it would have been like the equivalent of like $18 million of today's money. And it was all for, like, you know, luxury stuff in the middle of, like, you know, you get a half a gram of bread a day, London, you know, in the middle of the Blitz. He was $18 million in the hole, and he was given a check to basically cover his debt. And like 4 days later, he declares war on Germany.
Well, a mysterious benefactor, remember, bailed him out of debt when he was
who was
back
that?
around 1940.
Who was that Arab dude that Princess Di was going to? I bet it was like the Faisal. What's his name? Mohammed El Faisal, the guy who owns Harrods department store. I bet it was him, or that one Irish terrorist guy.
It was Bobby Sands' father who did it.
It was an Iranian or possibly a North Korean.
Well, it was North Korean before North Korean even existed. It was Kim Il Sung was like a teenager. He decided to.
It was a proto-Juche member. Because, like, you know, Juche with the apostrophe on the E, that's like, the North Koreans aren't actually communists. They follow, like, you know, like the Kim family doctrine. So they call that Juche, which, once again, the common denominator show what the problem is.
Huh? Well, the Juche or whatever, talk about North Korea, that's actually that's like an ultra nationalist ideology, really, North Koreans follow. They don't really, you know, they're pretty much self-sufficient. It's one of the things like, that they might live kind of shittily.
But the family themselves, though, dude, I don't think it's like ultra nationalist North Korean. I think it's more like a cult of personality. I mean, it's like, you know, declaration and all out love and, you know, obedience to Kim. You know, I mean, you got a nation of people who are facing an army right across the border. All right, that are probably 4 inches shorter and 30 to 40 pounds lighter than the opposing army. You know, I mean, like, one of their primary directives for, like,
very anti-Semitic.
One of their primary directives for, like, trying to, like, start the war process is giving orders for cross-border raids into China, which is a non-participant in this issue, you know, quote-unquote non-participant, but to steal grain from you know, available depots that are right across the border, you know, right across the Yalu River. So, I mean, we got guys that are shorter, lighter, less well-armed, and hungry that are coming against, you know, the United States military, which I swear to God, do not fuck up and have those guys show up at your doorstep and try and find Bin Laden in your backyard. You will regret that.
America, fuck yeah. I'm going to save the motherfucking day now. That's what immediately came to mind when you said America knocking at the door.
I'm gonna tell you this. If we find Bin Laden at your back door and he happens to be hiding on a piece of land that happens to have oil underneath it, your great grandchildren may have, like, radiation deformities.
Oh yeah. If you got that opium, you know,
we're putting
as well.
Wi-Fi towers soon. It's going to be great for them. They'll have mobile phones.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
So I like how you bring up opium. So how do you feel about, like the whole Taliban thing? Like it's interesting how like the Taliban had like almost eliminated opium. And by the way, Taliban like translated is the students, right? So how do you feel about the fact that like the Taliban had cut the opium production down to like, almost negligible amounts, and then like within 2 years the United States, after the United States occupying that region of Iraq, the opium sales like go through the roof. Like, I mean, it's like, record harvests. How do you think that's another coincidence?
Well, ultimately Mohammed Mar in 2000 he declared poppy cultivation illegal, and 75% of the world's opium was gone off the market. And 1 year later, 9/11 happened, and all of a sudden the Taliban's responsible. Here's the thing: is that we were friends with the Taliban in the 80s. We were fine with them in the 90s. Running Afghanistan, we really didn't have any beef with them. All the way up to 1999, 2000, we really didn't have any problems with them. And then in 2001, all of a sudden they were responsible for for 9/11, and they were harboring terrorists, and we had to limit the Taliban government there. When the American government just installed them, in fact, they just 11 years prior, no, 10 years or 9 years prior, 92, they took over the government, I believe, officially. Though they had really taken over the country about 85, 86, I believe. The Soviets were already on the losing side of that conflict. The Taliban essentially already had won that war. However, the Taliban had been put in power just 10 years prior by the Americans.
Chris, I am surprised. I am surprised you haven't mentioned a Hollywood production that actually documents that. I do not know if it's a Weinstein flick. It quite possibly, but it would be Charlie Wilson's War, starring Tom Hanks as Senator Charles Wilson. It's a heartwarming tale. It's a heartwarming tale. It makes the American pride swell out of your chest more than like 5 Lee Greenwood CDs attached to your genitals. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. How do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, I actually saw that movie, Charlie Wilson's War. Yeah, of course, it's like the thing with the JFK pilots. It depends on how big of a,
I bet you Tom Hanks would be a much better president than JFK ever was. I bet you Tom Hanks would never even like.
No. It would be okay as long as he doesn't have to go on a trip. Remember, every time that Tom Hanks goes on a trip, on an airplane trip or something like that, always calamity.
He's not gonna be, dude. He's got Air Force One, dude. The only guy who dies on Air Force One is almost Han Solo, dude. The president only dies if he takes the FedEx plane.
Well, almost Han Solo. Did Harrison Ford almost die on Air Force one time? I didn't get that reference.
You've never seen that? You've never seen that movie, Air Force One, with Harrison Ford?
I know that movie. Talk about. Okay,
dude, that is like Saturday action movie, like prime time shit right there, dude. You know how many like German, Russian Nazis he kills in that movie? I mean, these Russian Nazis are all over it.
No, it's like
bastards. You know what they are? They're anti-American.
They're commie Nazis.
Commie Nazis. They're almost like Islamo-fascists. That's
Islamic communist fascists. Islamic communist Nazis. That'd be the perfect movie one.
Commie Nazis fighting bigots would be like the best Weinstein production ever, dude. I would pay $7.99 at a matinee for that. I hope Adam Sandler's in it.
I don't know. I feel like Adam Sandler's best role would probably be as like one of the retarded commie Nazis or something like that. Like, because he always plays like retards in his role. I don't mean to offend retards, by the way, but I'm just saying that's all he plays is mentally challenged people. Like in half his movies, and everybody says he's a great actor. He sucks as an actor. I'll put that out there. He is the Cleveland Browns. Well, Cleveland Browns everybody knows they suck. Nobody says that they're good. Okay, they're the Dallas Cowboys. They're the modern Dallas Cowboys. of acting. That's what Adam Sandler is. Everybody thinks he's good, but he's first out of playoffs every year.
Dude, you take back that shit about the Cowboys just so my neighbors don't come over here and fucking gut me tonight. Dude, I'm in Texas. You shut your mouth, boy. You shut your mouth, boy. Don't you talk bad about the Cowboys.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a problem if the Cowboys could actually win a first-round playoff game any year ever.
Dude,
but
they're just sharing with the less fortunate teams out there in the fine Baptist tradition of my area. So shut up about the fucking Cowboys.
Oh yeah, talk about your Texan teams. I don't know what the score is on that Stros game. I'm going to look that up actually.
All right, so I'm not necessarily a sports fan, so I just know that I gotta there's almost as many Cowboys window stickers as like Jesus fish on cars around here, and like the correlation between Cowboy stickers and Jesus fish on like a Venn diagram. Yeah, it's like a great big old circle, dude. It's like way less elliptical than the flat Earth.
Well, we have Cowboys fans even here. I mean, they're everywhere, and that's I think part of what.
I'm really sorry, and you guys should like increase the bleach in your water or something like that.
We have the sorry ass Bucks over here, even though that I meant that's my team, but. We fucking suck every year, it seems like. And by the way, the Astros are up 1-0, so you might hear some drunken screaming tonight.
All right, so let us give a World Series update. Tonight's sports segment brought to you by Chris from Florida, who really doesn't give a shit about sports. Chris, tell us the score and the inning, please.
Okay, well, George Springer hit a solo home run, I guess, I don't know, a few innings ago or something like that. Middle of the fifth inning right now. 1-0 Astros.
1-0 Astros. What inning is it?
Middle of the fifth inning. By the way, this is game 6, so the Astros win tonight. They win it all.
Of the fifth inning, and it's before 9 o'clock in Texas. I predict record beer sales. I predict.
Oh yeah.
All right. Here's the question: How bad will the riot be in Houston tonight? Got that shit nailed down. They ain't letting no Houston fans riot in L.A. But how bad will it be in downtown Houston where all the bars go ape shit at 2 a.m. when all the fucking drunks are kicked out of the bar and the Astros won the World Series? How bad is that going to be? And how do you think that the open carry law in Texas for concealed weapon holders will affect that? Not to mention that the cops dude, the cops got machine guns here, dude. Do not fuck with the cops in Texas. They will kill your ass.
I'm probably not going to be as bad as the Philadelphia Phillies when they won the World Series, that riot, or the Oakland Raiders when they lost the Super Bowl, or Vancouver when they lost the Stanley Cup. Those are some pretty bad sports riots I can think of.
When Freddie Gray lost the WrestleMania championship against the Baltimore Police, dude, that riot was fucking horrible after that.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I should laugh at that, but I actually took that seriously for almost all the way through that sentence, and I realized what you were saying. I was like, "Oh man, that's fucked up." Of course, I'm on PrimerTime. What should I expect? But
seriously, at the end of it all, isn't it all kind of fucked up? There's nobody that's golden. There's nobody that's completely 100% innocent. This is a great big gigantic scandal.
Fucked up.
Great big gigantic circular. Well, there's all kinds of things that are fucked up. There's all kinds of things that are just horribly out of proportion, dude. I mean, all right, so we're straight up honest. What do you think about the 7-year-old transsexual named Lactasia?
That's the thing. So
if you've got the available internet next to you, do me a favor and look up transgendered Lactasia and give it a browse. We got 9 minutes left, dude. You can't even bail on the end of this show. That'd be all kinds of fucked up.
Oh, I've seen shit like this, but I I know it exists. I know. I was joking when I said that's a thing. I know. Unfortunately, these parents or whatever are forced, or they're, at that point, they're just pressuring their children into doing these, these things, and
if we've got an actual 7-year-old boy being pressured by whether it's his parents or his own weird desire, a facilitated and abled by dirty Uncle Dave or dirty Uncle Hiram or dirty Uncle Shlomo or whatever, and he gets to like get hooked up with like all sorts of RuPaul drag queens and shit. How is that less offensive than making a joke about a dude like Freddie Gray, who, honest to God, when he got like nailed, he was kind of a scumbag, dude. He wasn't like like an upstanding citizen. I mean, he wasn't a good boy. He wasn't going to school. He wasn't getting his life in order and shit.
Yeah, but does it mean he should have been tortured and killed? I mean, that's pretty much what happened to the dude. But of course, that's a bad argument there, because ultimately both things are terrible. Honestly, I would say probably
all over the place. But what I'm saying is like, this guy's dead. He ain't gonna get undead and then get re-dead again. So I mean, whatever his honor or whatever is, I think is far less important than 7-year-old little Johnny, aka Lactasia, the 7-year-old transgendered guy. Which, by the way, I mean, the name Lactasia, what is that? Lactation is like like the production of milk, right? So I mean, like, Lactasia, blah blah blah. Jesus Christ, dude, that is like pedophilia right in your face, dude. And to be honest, dude, that's far worse than like an offensive joke about some dead brother. I'm sorry, I mean, whatever, he dead, he ain't coming back. Go ahead and sue me on the Patreon or whatever. Take all my fucking eBay money and shit.
I wasn't saying the joke was terrible. I'm just saying that what happened.
I don't know all the good jokes. I mean, shit.
Look, it's my way of doing radio, is that there's certain things that honestly I don't want. To me, I don't find it that comical, some stuff like that, and also at the same time, people it blows stuff proportion. That I acknowledge that joke. Somebody later is going to say that I'm a racist or something like that. I
will never make a joke about an incarcerated African American again, except for OJ.
Well, I can laugh about that. But I'm just saying that I'm just saying that the difference is that I do my way of the show my way or whatever, and then it's like if I said certain things,
dude, you could always use the fake name. I mean, shit, this only gets like 11 views on YouTube.
Well, not my show, but I've used my real name on the show already about 200 times, 300 times.
Yeah, dude, I get like 11, dude, and like 5 of them are mine, and like I get like a thumbs down from Vince and Dan, so whatever. I mean, I said my shit. I don't care. I ain't doing. I am not trying to sell you any kind of like tangerine, no male vitality formula. I do not have a big old fucking stock of bone broth or nothing. I'll tell you what, I'd sell some 22 long rifles, some motherfuckers if they got some cash. But other than that, I ain't trying to like hook up some kind of like worldwide industry. I'm not like auto wars or none of that shit.
I'm telling you, folks, everybody's being conditioned. The only way to break out of conditioning is to buy my male vitality supplements now. You order right now at the InfoWars.com website. Please pay. You can pay in shekels if you want. No, wait, I'm not supposed to say that.
I'm going to tell you this right now. 1776 plus shipping and handling gives you 1984.
Oh, shit. Oh shit!
Oh shit!
I know I have to. Somebody do the math on that. Okay, I was thinking, is it possible 1776 plus tax equals 1984? before, because I actually happened in my mind to be kind of slightly blown by that, but I actually did the math in my head. That's impossible.
I don't do it. I'd go with like 8.5% and see what it comes up with. I am technologically unenhanced at this point, therefore I cannot like operate a calculator. I'm pretty much doing good at this call with you. So listen, I got to do something that I have done. I have tried to do. I'm pretty sure I've done it every show, and the ones that I haven't done, I'm pretty sure Jules has deleted them because they were probably pretty fucking horrible, to be honest with you. Not that this is any better, but I mean, I'm glad you're my guest and, co-host and shit, but whatever. All right, so first rule of gun safety. Every firearm is loaded until you visually and physically inspect that gun is not loaded. Rule number 2, keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Do not point that muzzle at anything you don't wish to destroy. Rule number 3, know what your target is, know what's beyond your target at all times. And rule number 4, the most important of the rule, it probably should be the first rule that I mentioned, but I never do, but rule number 4 is keep the booger hook off the bang stick. Shout out to Hop from the chat who was there. All right, so listen, I had to say it. Let's go on. I'm really sorry. I won't make fun of no more dead people.
No, I wanted to keep your booger hook off the bang switch. I should get a T-shirt. That's very portable right there.
Making money off a booger hook off the bang switch T-shirts, and you don't cut me in. I am gonna drive out there and find your ass. I'll find you. Yeah. Like I'll probably get $700 from you at that point.
You'll get the entire $50 back from me. I'll sold 10, but I'm gonna pay a lot on shipping probably, and it'll end up being about even in the end. But yeah. Also, by the way, I don't know if you should go. I mean, you're gonna have to go to. You have to find me physically. Go against me legally. It's the St. Petersburg. There's.
Well, yeah. What? All right. So seriously, straight up honest. Here's a question. This goes out to like all the constitutionalists and all that out there. How can you expect recompense from the system that is constantly giving you intercourse? Ladies and gentlemen, Jules doing it for us. Thank you very much.
Black water's gonna police the streets and they'll kill whoever they choose.